ladies and gentlemen, is London. Swinging London, it's been called, though some people might find a different adjective. Social rebels have taken over in what seems more like an invasion than a revolution, because they've got their own new language that is way out and weird, to say the least.
Good evening, vinyl community seeking a thread. Returning to the ABCs of Psych. I'm Dom. If you didn't know that already. I wanted to focus on UK, some UK favorites in the psychedelic rock genre. Basically stuff that is sort of like your go-to records for the UK psych scene. This is like the top pop psych and Toy Town psych and a little bit of progressive. These are some favorites. This is not everything, but it's a good deal of what I have. I have a bunch of holes in the UK psych that I'd like to get. It's tough to get it. I mean, to get a lot of the key titles, you really need to be abroad or paying to get stuff from abroad, and originals on these things are just ridiculous. So there are some US versions of some of them, and some of them, a lot of what I have here are reissues. Not everything, but it's great. The thing I love about UK Psych is that sometimes it gets cheesy, but there's less of a blues rock thing going on. They definitely use blues as a basis at times, but it tends to just have a more sort of like rave up sound. That's kind of what they were doing. The Yardbirds was a big influence, I think, and the sound can be a lot more charging, a lot more sort of like straight to the point. Definitely freaky. I would say there's less crazed acid stuff going on, but there's some stuff that's just really cool production, like really well produced records is kind of the thing. I mean, it was a big thing for like 18 months, Psych in the UK and even in the US, but it seemed to quickly fade into progressive rock pretty quick. So the Psych scene in the UK was even quicker to burn out. Well, let's get into it. Thanks everyone, by the way, for checking out Seeking a Thread. And again, I've been enjoying finding new channels and things like that too. Shout out to Sherv and Julius Jabbar, who's your channel. Just finally catching up on those, and Static Traveler Alan, who's showing some great stuff lately. Speaking of UK Psych, so let's see what I got here. Let's start with Bulldog Breed. It was on Duram Nova originally, and this band would become T2. And this is a reissue, alright, with a bonus single. This was an Acme reissue, and this is in that pocket. Real nice guitar sound. Like I said, a charging, gritty kind of sound to it. There's a bunch of stuff about war on this. This is called Made in England from 1968. Acme. The track I love off here the most is I Flew, which is, like I said, it's got like some machine guns going on and just a good riff. Good band. But like I said, 3 of these guys would go on a T2. One would form Isengard, I think it is, and release some LPs there. T2's excellent. And this is the one-off. They did a single too from Bulldog Breed, 1969, featuring members of legendary bands The Flies, Please, and Neon Pearl, is what the hype sticker says. So there's that too. Made in England. Disneyland is distraction. Come down, General, tell me why you're too far from the action. Here's one that many will know, Blossom Toes. This is the second album, which gets a little more progressive. It has a lot of times people call out as this first track, Peace Loving Man, because it's incredibly heavy and surprising. Really kicks you in the gut. Of course, Brian Godding. This is in a Karma. Oh, I hate the Karmas. I don't have many Karmas left, but this is a tough one originally. So originally on Marmalade, this is from 1969. Their first one, We Are Ever So Clean, is excellent too. I have a Karma of that. Brian Godding, the guitar player, is incredible. He should have. I forgot to look at what else he did, Brian Godding, but he made these records what they are. prime pop psych right here. Blossom Toes. Great name too. Here's one. I have a U.S. original of a UK band, Elmer Gantry's Velvet Opera. Shout out to Psychedelic Snow. Snowy found a nice mono white label promo. I actually found, first copy I got of this, I got a good deal off eBay at auction, like $30, and then here in Ithaca there was like a radio station, not the radio station I work at either, doing a sale of like all different records and CDs. And I walked up and they had a $1 bin of records, and I found another copy of this, which I was able to upgrade. Believe it or not, this sleeve was, this is a radio station copy. I think this is the one that I upgraded to. I think the sleeve was not very nice. WHCR. I don't even know which station. That's not a station anymore. WHCR. I don't think. So this was the upgrade copy. In nice shape. So I bought that for $1 and, sold the other one for whatever. Did well with that. But a good band. They have some more ballad sound, but again they have that classic UK, good riffs, good songwriting, and they would only release this one LP. This is from '68. They would kick out. I guess Elmer Gantry was an actual dude in this band. I don't know, but they kicked out whoever the singer was and just became Velvet Opera. Why not? So here's like the band that started all for me in many ways with Psych, the creation. I don't have any original records. They only had one original album and singles, of course, Making Time, which you can get a US original on that, which was on I'm forgetting the imprint, but this is the Numero Group compilation of all of their stuff, and this is essential. Action Painting. This is 4 years old maybe now. It includes everything, remastered sound and everything. Yeah, I mean, of course, I've heard about this band from Rushmore like most people did. And it's on the Planet label in the U.S. And you just cannot beat Making Time. And then there's lots of other great songs that they did. How Does It Feel to Feel? Nightmares is amazing. They ran through the different singers and things. Like without the whole history going on. They were the Mark IV originally, became the creation. Band members changed, singers changed. Like the original singer came back later. It's kind of a confusing story, but the music is great. That's the bottom line here, isn't it? Painter Man, that's the other song I really like. This Numero, I don't know if this is still available. I think it is. It's got a great book, which I've actually read. I read this booklet. I did. 16-page book. But this has got it all. Their guitarist, I don't know his name in front of me. Apparently he was the first to use a bow, which you can hear on Making Time and some other songs. He was the first to use a bow on his guitar before Jimmy Page. Apparently, so they say, as things go. Legend has it. But, phenomenal group. Here's an insane rarity, Forever Amber. I think this has been shown. Originally a 99 copy record. Basically a private press in the UK. It was on a label called Advance. This is the 10th Planet version. And this has got a Millennium feel to it. Sort of a sunshine pop, but it gets pretty freaky. Ooh, Vertigo. It gets pretty freaky. It has a lo-fi thing to it. It sounds almost like a budget recording in a nice way. I don't think any of these people went on to anything, but it's kind of a concept album, as you can see in the back. It's from 1969. I think this reissue is from 2007. It's kind of a concept. You can see there's different sort of suites of songs. It's a love cycle, a love story, perhaps. everything up through Grail of the Crimson. What is it? Grail of the King Crimson? No, I forget. Grail of the Hall of the Mountain Grill. I know Dots and Loops, Dan, I think it was either that record or the one before. I'll have to pull it out. Maybe I'll pull it out real quick. But I think you would say it was like one of the best psych records. I forget what you had it at the top of a list. I know that. Yeah, here's all my Hawkwind. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Tito. Here's Hall of the Mountain Grill, right? Yep. I think this is not the one. This is a great live recording with Lemmy. Space Ritual. Yeah, Warrior on the Edge of Time, I think was the one you loved. First album. Let's put those Hawkwinds back because I'm showing a different one. I'm showing X in Search of Space, second album, before Lemmy. One album before Lemmy. This is like, to me, sets the template for what Hawkwind would be. This is a U.S. original on United Artists. It does not include the logbook, which is what brings this record serious value, if you find that. And it is the die cut or the fold out cover, just like Space Ritual would be. So that's cool. You know, this thing, very nice. Space Rock, you know Hawkwind. They rip. They charge, they go interstellar, and I love this album. This is one of my favorite Hawkwind records. I love all those ones I showed though. They the first one is almost has a rural rock thing going on, and then they sort of stay in the same interstellar space with you get the Michael Moorcock. Well, no, Michael Moorcock was helping him write lyrics. And Nick Turner, Dave Brock, they're on this album. And Lemmy would join on the next album, Do, Re, Mi. All-time favorite record here. Not my favorite, but this transcends genre. This is Kaleidoscope Tangerine Dream. I don't remember how I initially discovered this, but this, Faintly Blowing, and I have Fairfield Parlor, which I've showed, are the most incredible UK Psych. I mean, this is like top of the heap. Oh, it's hard to get out of the sleeve. I'm going to leave it in the sleeve. This is the most recent reissue, which is the first official reissue. I had Tapestry original on this, and I still have the Tapestry of Faintly Blowing. I missed the Sunbeam ones. I think I was just like, eh. But this is the one that is on orange vinyl. It's numbered, which I think this is shot up in price. But this is like complete official, Peter Daltrey involved. They haven't done the second one yet in that way, but I'm waiting for it. In any case, high-end songwriting, great studio trickery, great, lyrics are a little bit whimsical and fey, but these guys could write songs. Peter Daltrey specifically, Eddie Poomer, the guitarist, great guitar player. Tangerine Dream. I hate to use the word Holy Grail. A lot of the grails that I would like are of this UK Psych. I'm about to show all the different reissues I have here. I would love to have originals. It'll just probably never happen. But these are 4-figure albums, but this is such an incredible record. Tangerine Dream. A masterpiece. Here's another one I'd love to own an original. High-end, again, July. This has been shown. Self-titled Epic. There's a US original, or there's a US release of this, unlike Kaleidoscope. I think this is Crazy Spatter. This must have been RSD. I had a Gerson. Is this Gerson? This is not Gerson. This is like a Parlophone relaunch. Parlophone 2014, it says. This was led by Tom Newman, the guitar player, and he would actually have a solo career long after, making sort of like, pop, 70s pop. But the song Dandelion Seeds is the real track to go on here. Incredible production, really cool panning and phasing effects, and great songs. My Clown, the first song is great. Some kind of think this is overrated. I do not. It's not as good as Kaleidoscope, but this is top-rate UK Psych.
Is there any hope? There must be. That girl certainly learned to dig advanced mathematics, like the Beatles and the freaky fashions this young generation created to some horror. And whoever faced the predicament of a girl with a paper dress who wants to sunbathe in the park? because even young people aren't used to these new poster dresses, which in fact can be worn again and again, and though they're made of paper, can even be washed.
Here's an unknown one, Mandrake Paddle Steamer, more in the progressive sort of prog-like Symptoms vein. Just released one single that had their name spelled wrong. Apparently they were sometimes known as Mandrake and other times Mandrake Paddle Steamer. This is a summer issue of their unreleased acetates. Like I said, they had one official single. This has a booklet in it too. And if you notice, I actually... the Seeking a Thread, or the Searching for a Thread avatar that I use for YouTube and my radio show is copped off this. And by the way, I have a new logo, or a new design, a new Searching for a Thread design that's coming. Or it's done, I just haven't unveiled it yet. But in any case, yeah, this is similar to what you'll see as my logo. I took it. But this is great. This is, like I said, going into the progressive vein. They actually were getting, apparently they opened for Pink Floyd and Black Sabbath. They were getting there, but it's one of those things where the band just ends up falling apart. The drummer goes, they get another drummer, that drummer goes, and it just sort of flakes. But yeah, all of their tapes and acetates is a compilation of that stuff. It does not include the single. Maybe that single is under lock and key for some reason. But really cool. I think you can still get this pretty reasonably. Some good catchy songs. It's definitely stays in the pop sake vein, but with bringing in some progressive ideas. Mandrake Paddle Steamer. This is just called Pandemonium Shadow Show. I've showed this at one point, The Move. This is my UK mono original. Of course, Roy Wood, would become ELO, of course, and the many Move albums. And the next album, the next Move brings in Jeff Lynne, I believe. Tony Visconti helped out with strings and production on this. Strings, Brass Winds, Woodwinds by Tony Visconti, produced by Denny Cordell. What a great cover. The Fool, the design company, who actually also had an LP that's not so great. They did all this design. This is on the Regal Zonophone. This is, like I said, mono. Yeah, I got this from the UK, of course. It doesn't really... I mean, these records just are not here. No one has these in the US. And this is maybe a better end VG record, but it sounds pretty solid. Laminated cover and everything, flip back top. I know I ended up getting this from UK, and it just felt the price felt too good. I think I paid £40 for it, which with shipping it ended up being a lot, but I think I felt pretty good about it. I think I got something else and felt all rosy inside. Here's more in the hard rock vein. The only Pink Fairies record I really like, Twink Adler, the drummer. This is a great hard rock album. It's definitely a little spacey, definitely a little Hawkwind-esque on Polydor. This isn't a first. There's a few different versions of this, but this is a UK first. Great cover. I love the cover. It's kind of... I don't know, it just kind of sets the mood. Good back sleeve there. Yeah, laminated. Twink Adler is an important figure, and someone else I'm going to show some more of in a minute in the UK Psych scene.
Don't think about it! Well, all you gotta do is do it! Don't talk about it! All you do is do it! Do it! Don't lie about it! Do it! Do it! Cry about it, honey! That won't do it! Just do it!
I usually would show the Pretty Things SF Sorrow. Sonic or Static Traveler Alan did just recently. I love this record. I picked up on this late too. SF Sorrow was always one of my just go-to Psych records, and the One Pretty Thing records I thought you had to have. This is great. It's more of a rock album, but some incredibly great catchy songs. The song Grass I play all the time. I think it's Grass, yeah. This is a US Rare Earth original. Yeah, Grass, first song on side 2 is amazing. I scored this. I think this is doing some decent bucks these days. This is a nice copy. I scored this from an eBay seller. I'm sure you all out there have done it, where you find someone who doesn't know how to list records, and they misspell something, or they just put the condition is good, and you take a gamble. I need some psychedelic beverage. Sparkling beverage, psychedelic. In any case, this is the one now I play the most when I go to the pre-things, and I don't have all the records. I have SF Sorrow, I have that DeBarge record, which is kind of cool, and this. Amazing.
So low below, a laser sun, through velvet fields she runs, reaching for you, and so you bleed now. Your hand holds the knife that is tearing your life apart. Why don't you leave now? The city's too heavy.
Toy Town classic. Nah, I wouldn't call it a classic. I'd call it a Toy Town British Psych record that I actually quite like. It's sort of goofy, a little overly whimsical. Rainbow Folly, Sally's Fourth. Ironically released in the UK and Venezuela somehow. But an incredible psychedelic sleeve. This is a Gerson reissue. And it gets a little goofy, a little Monkees-esque. But it's some really good songs. Underrated. Drive My Car was a single, of course flopped. Highly recommended for fans of the Pop Psych, Sunshine Pop, and file next to the Kubas, Forever Amber, or the Kinks, sure, and Millennium as well. Yeah, originally on Parlophone. This just went nowhere. But I kind of dig this. I haven't listened to this in a while, but it fits a need. It fits a bill, and on these sort of more, fantasy-like, more, in the vein of Kaleidoscope, it's Toy Town. But the sleeve is sort of like, kind of the big thing that pulls you in.
Sitting, sleeping, watching waves, creeping over sun with the brightest in the sunshine.
UK Psych focus. The ABCs of Psych returning. I got more coming up with that in this theme, by the way. The Sin, the original Sin, is a compilation of their singles, never released an album. Complete History of the Sin, 67 to 69. I believe they had 3 official singles, looks like. I believe they played the 14-hour Technicolor Dream, one of the many bands that played that. This is an Acme compilation, Complete History of the Sin. And it includes acetates as well. Here you can see pictures of them playing at the Marquee and all of the big spots in London. Swing in London. There's a reproduction of a Duram label, I believe, right? And I scored this at the record store in Manhattan that is now gone, called he sells on Discogs now. I think he's RSR Island. But this store had tons of Psych, but his prices were always crazy for reissues, for originals. But it was one of these shops you go in, and this is a lot of the shops in Manhattan going back into the early 2000s when I was looking for this stuff. That's kind of when I started discovering Psych in general, especially UK Psych, right around 2000, 2001. Slowly over time figure it out, but you'd go in there, it was more like a museum just to look and be like, woo, and every now and then I'd spend $40 on some bootleg reissue or something. But I got this there. I was specifically looking for this, and he had it. No one else had this. And I'm glad I did, because I think you can't get this anymore. But a little background there, and great. This is kind of like Elmer Gantry and Bulldog Breed. It's got that really good, straight, butt-kicking sound. I don't know what I'm saying. Catchy. That's always the thing with this UK stuff. It's catchy.
But that just doesn't seem to help my plight. I'm lost and I'm out of sight. I'm grounded. I'm high and I'm dry. I'm grounded. My money disguises and I'm grounded. I might as well lay down and die.
A few more. I'm blowing through stuff. Tomorrow. Got a show tomorrow with Steve Howe, who would become Being Yes. This also features Twink Adler. This did get released on Sire. This is a Vinilissimo reissue. Another Gerson-related label, I think. But this did get released by Sire in the US, but it's even that is pretty pricey. You're talking $500, $600, $700. Sire in the US did release the Deviants records, which I don't have. They did release the next record I'm about to show. So Seymour Stein in the early days was on top of it. Anyway, for a little bit of it anyways. He was into Psych, I suppose, and trying to import some of the UK groups. Revolution is great. My White Bicycle is the big one on here. They do a version of Strawberry Fields Forever. Hallucinations, the last track, really good. I would say this isn't quite up at the top for me, but I mean, if you're collecting British psychedelia from the 60s, you have this probably. Another amazing guitar album, of course, with Steve Howe. So Twink Adler as well on drums. And then Yes would happen, right? Speaking of Twink Adler, here's one I am seriously thinking about trying to get an original of, because it's somewhat attainable for US Sire. This is Twink, and actually it came out here first, the US copy. I think it came out on Polydor later in the UK, which is odd, but this is one of the more freaky, damaged, experimental Psych records, period. It does not necessarily sound like the other UK stuff. Now, this is the Sunbeam most recent reissue. That includes like an unreleased mono edition, I believe it is. It's got all sorts of ephemera. I'm not going to take it all out. But this was RSD, and I was like, what am I, like, I actually traded in, Pink Wax. This emulates the Polydor label that we get in the UK. But I traded in my Sunbeam reissue, which was out of print, for this reissue because of this. I wanted this mono mix, which is the first time it's been available. Yeah, I believe they made it look like an acetate or a test press. An amazing record. You have to hear this one. 10,000 Words in a Cardboard Box. It's got super huge fuzz to it. This track Suicide is fantastic. The Coming of the Other One, the first song. This one is experimental, is the main takeaway on this. Twink Adler really did great work here. Key figure. Another key figure, like I said, in UK Psych. Last one I'm going to show, we're going to talk about the BBC Radiophonic Workshop, and a record that was kind of more in the modern composer vein, but definitely Psych. I typically take out the records from the sleeves, but this one, because of so much stuff, I put it back in. Everything's going to be okay. Okay, last record, and we'll say goodbye. White Noise, BBC Radiophonic Workshop. Delia Derbyshire was involved with this, but she wouldn't be after this. It basically was the members are David Vorhaus, Brian Hodgson, Delia Derbyshire, with some vocals by John Whitman, Annie Bird, Val Shaw. This is just an experimental, daring progressive, psychedelic composers, essentially getting together and just creating sound, coming up with sound. David Voorhaas, the production coordinator and the main person behind this, still is making music under white noise, from what I understand, until recently. Delia Derbyshire is sort of the big name here, from one of the very cutting-edge composers with the BBC Radiophonic Workshop. This is an Antilles reissue from like '76. These are gettable originals, actually, UK originals, UK firsts. These are gettable, and I may get, because I love white noise, an Electric Storm. That's my UK Psych for the ABCs of Psych. Continuing this series, let me get more of my psychedelic beverage. I hope that was fun. I'm definitely missing some records. I would love to see anyone out there that can show some other records that maybe I should be looking at. There's more. I didn't bring everything out, but that's kind of my main favorites in the UK Psych. I have, a good 100 UK Psych records, I think. Something like that. I don't know. Close to that. I love Psych, so that's where I will put some focus if I can, but I do like to try to get the originals when they're within reason, so the quest continues. The saga continues. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of these videos and checking in and responding. I know there's a lot of you out there who do Psych and will get a kick out of this video, I think, and enjoy some of these. So hope you enjoyed the samples. Hope you enjoyed this latest ABCs of Psych. Stay tuned for a Rural Psych will be my next ABCs of Psych focus. I love that stuff. And some more, I'm going to be doing a video about some personal history in the music industry and sort of another sort of vinyl origin story. So you take care out there. I'm looking forward to getting involved and checking out more videos. Been good stuff in the VC lately. And I got a lot of new good records that have come in, so I'll do another new records in my life video, because there's been some great stuff coming in. Alright, that's about all. Take care.
A happening to the beat of the 117 group.
Face with plastic.